Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. In Psalm 106, we see just how bad things had gotten with Israel. There in verse 37, starting in verse 37, it says, "They sacrificed their sons and their daughters to the demons, and they shed innocent blood, the blood of their sons and their daughters, whom they sacrificed to the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with the blood. Thus they became unclean in their works and played the harlot in their actions." And so this shows just how bad things had gotten, that they were offering up their sons and their daughters, innocent blood. They were offering this up to these idols of Canaan, killing their very offspring for these false gods. And of course, this is an atrocious thing, and we can now understand perhaps why the Lord rebuked them as severely as he did, why he disciplined them and ultimately punished them for their deeds. These are horrible acts that they were involved in. But we also have to ask ourselves, are we doing something similar? Maybe not physically offering our children up on to idols as far as killing them and things like that, but do we offer up our children on the idols of materialism, consumerism, of feeling as though they have to live up to a certain standard, up to the world standards? Are we training up our children in the ways of the world and what is important to the world and what are the standards of the world? Or are we raising up our children to be children of the King, children of God, who are committed to not an earthly kingdom, not to building up their own kingdom, but to following the Lord in his kingdom, to lay up treasures in heaven, not so much treasures here on earth? Too much in the United States, particularly, we feel as though our children are not successful unless they make a certain amount of money, they have a certain amount of cars, they live up to the American dream. There's a certain standard we think that they must meet. Otherwise, we feel like, they're unsuccessful. We've been unsuccessful as parents, and so on and so forth. But the most important thing that we teach our children is to love the Lord, to fear the Lord, to be devoted to the Lord, and to seek his kingdom above everything else. If we can do that, if we can instill that into our children, we'll save them from these idols that oftentimes plague them and even might plague us. So we have to be very careful that we don't raise our children up according to the idols of the world that we see around us, the standards of the world we see around us, but to raise them up in the teaching and admonition of the Lord, to show them what the true priorities ought to be in life, to not just live for this temporal dwelling that we're in here in this world, but to live for eternal things and to seek God above everything else, to love him, to be devoted to him, and to enter into his kingdom so that they can be eternally blessed, not just temporarily blessed by the things of this world. And so let's be very careful that as we raise our children, we're not raising them up to sacrifice them to idols, but to offer them up to the Lord and to cause them to be devoted to him so that we can shoot them like arrows into the world and make an impact on the world, to show the world another way, that there is a better way to approach life, a way that's more meaningful, more purposeful, and eternal. So these are some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.